Hello everyone and welcome back. It's October 13th and you know what that means.
That is Taco Tuesday?
Yes. But also, it's lucky number 13.
At least for those of us without triskaidekaphobia, or fear of the number 13.
Yeah, which brings us to our last day of our Halloween countdown. At this point, we're pretty sure we know who's behind that gate, and if you aren't sure, then you need to watch the series over again. That way you know. It's a bittersweet thing for me. I had a lot of fun making this series, and I decided that it would be very important for us to end the way we started, with Kevin. Also, you may have noticed that this handsome gentleman is wearing some of our merch. We now have shirts. We don't have a website or anything yet because we're still pretty new at all of this, but you can find me on Facebook and you can request a shirt there and we'll get you one as soon as we can. Big shout out to King Cash and all the guys at ADHD for helping us make our merch possible.
Thanks, guys.
You guys are awesome. And so, with a heavy sigh, it's about time to lift this door and see what's inside. Here we go. See, he doesn't even want to give it up. It's like, no, not the last one. And the bottom hides.
Oh, wrong hole.
Ooh, it's a sideways opening one. That's new.
Yeah, nifty. And what do we have here for those of you who aren't paying attention?
The Grady twins. Well, one of the Grady twins. I really thought we'd get them both. That's weird.
Wait, let's check inside, see if there's a second one. Maybe that's why they had the sideways door.
There totally is.
There's a second one, folks.
What? I want to open one too.
Here, you open that.
I finally get to open a bag, guys. No way, it's the other Grady twin.
Nice.
Who would have suspected?
Come play with us, Danny. Forever and ever and ever.
You gotta love some spooky haunted children. Who doesn't? They make an excellent addition to any horror movie. We were just talking about The Omen the other day with the cat boy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty creepy too. So it's just, there's something about spooky haunted children that just gets your blood pumping. I tell ya. I like that they both have the blood marks right around their chest too. That's pretty cool. And now, bum 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 bum. Took me long enough.
There we go.
So you probably recognize these two from the movie The Shining, and you're right there. But we already talked about The Shining, didn't we? You remember that?
I do.
Mm-hmm. Because he watched the series. So this time I decided that instead of just doing a repeat, we'd go ahead and talk about the sequel, Doctor Sleep. Did all of you know that was a sequel?
As of this morning, I did not.
Well, welcome to the loop. Yeah, Doctor Sleep is the sequel, and it came out last year in 2019, so it's brand new. The story follows an adult Dan Torrance who struggles with alcoholism, runs in the family, and kind of a reoccurring theme throughout this. There's a bar scene in both The Shining and Doctor Sleep. After trying to stay out of the spotlight for years, Dan meets a young girl who also has the shine named Abra, because magic. And together they join forces to take down the True Knot, which is a cult of shine vampires. Not shiny vampires. No Twilight.
Vampires don't sparkle.
No, but they're shine thieves. They essentially go around drawing the breath out of them. Do you remember the movie Cat's Eye? I believe it was called.
I do not.
I could be mistaken on the title. I haven't seen this movie in so long. But there was this movie about this pint-sized goblin creature that snuck into this kid's room at night and was trying to steal their breath. And there was a cat that continually messed him up and knocked him out and chased him away, and it was guarding this kid. And that kind of was what this reminded me of, watching them draw the shine out of people, because it almost looked like the same mist even. So whenever they go through excruciating amounts of pain or they lose their life or something, their shine geeks away and the people draw on it. You actively see it happening in one of the fight scenes between Rose the Hat and Dan Torrance. They're using the shine so they can have sort of immortal life and gain powers, stronger powers. The shine gives you powers anyway, as you recall. Somewhat between telepathy, telekinesis, levitation, astral planing. There's quite a few powers that enhance it, mostly psionic powers. which is a big nod to my D&D nerd friends out there. Ewan McGregor plays Dan, so it was a really good performance in my opinion. Rebecca Ferguson plays Rose the Hat, the main vampire girly, and Kylie Curran plays Abra. They revised some of the original scenes from The Shining for the use of this movie. You see them scattered throughout it. Everything from Dan riding his trike around, to the red rum on the walls, to Danny boy when Jack's chasing him with the axe. Yeah, those are all thrown into it. Even a little flashback to the hedge maze. Which is funny too, because there's another hedge maze in this one, a darker, spookier hedge maze, which takes place inside one of their minds. You can grow plants anywhere, I tell you. The original actor who plays Danny makes a cameo, but it's so minute, he's literally just sitting next to somebody in one of the shots, just chilling there. It doesn't even really have many lines, if I remember correctly.
I don't think so, no.
I liked this movie a lot. I heard that there were some people that didn't like it for one reason or another, but for me, I felt like they did really good with the way they portrayed the scenes. The Shining was all about suspense and creeping up on you and what's gonna happen and how silence kills. This one is much more action heavy. There's a shootout in this one in the woods between the True Knot and Danny and his friend Billy, while Abra astral projects herself into the combat as well to trick them and get it going. It's just excellent. I liked it. Unfortunately, we're going to get into some spoiler territory because it's kind of necessary for us to discuss our twinly terrors here. Towards the end, there's an extreme battle between Dan and Rose the Hat, which I mentioned. And in that battle, Danny takes an axe to the leg and she's sitting there digging her thumb into it, the excruciating pain gives off some of his shine for her to munch on, and during this time, she's apparently inside of his mind and stumbles upon these tombs, these caskets. And in these are apparently all of the spooks from The Shining in the hotel. They're just hanging out in there, living in there. I guess he locked them away. And she's like, I want to know what's in there. What's in there? Oh, is it something special? He's like, no, it's nothing special. It's starving. And he opens it and all the beasties from The Shining come hopping out and feasting upon her and sucking the shine out of her. And he just watches nonchalantly. And then they turn to him. And that's the point where it's most clear that the Grady twins step out first and make their first contact with him, really. And they're the ones who talk the most to him. I think the others just grunt and groan during it, if I remember correctly. But they pull out and they talk about their lines that they have. Come play with us, Danny. So it's said that their dad killed him, Mr. Grady, but then it's also kind of speculated that it's not Grady's kids, but other kids who just happened to be there and that were killed by Grady, so they are called the Grady twins. It's also kind of said that they're not really twins. And some people say they're just spooky children. So the decision's yours. What are they? Lisa and Louise Burns play the Grady twins, and they're real twins as well. But it was excellent. If you haven't seen it, then you should, because I think it's one of Stephen King's more action-thrilled movies that was not the Dark Tower's disgusting remake that they made. Make it better! The Dark Tower deserved more! Anyway, that brings us to the question and comment section, so get your fingers ready and get ready to play with us forever and ever. So, what are your guys' thoughts on astral projection? You? How do you feel about it?
I've actually been looking into it for a while, and it seems like fun if I could actually get it down. I mean, the ability to jump out of your body and fly. Who doesn't want that kind of power? You can go anywhere.
Exactly, it's the easiest way to take a vacation. You don't even gotta leave your house. Plane tickets aren't even a thing. You don't need a ticket to fly with me. I'm free, yeah. I think it's a great idea too. I've just always been somebody who's into the powers of the mind. That's why The Shining was big to me, because The Shine is essentially just enhanced psionics, like I was saying, so mind powers for the wind. So how do you feel about callback scenes in movies and sequels? When they make us movie and they bring time to kind of catch you up on what happened before, do you think that is as useful as they want it to be, or do you feel like that's a little more time consuming and you should just watch the first movie?
A little bit of both, because backstory is important, getting a frame of reference for your movies, but at the same time, each movie that you watch should stand alone in its own. You should be able to tell what happened in the previous film. Yeah, you should be able to watch each movie in the series and be able to tell what's happening just in that movie alone.
Yeah. I kind of feel the same way. It's got goods and it's bad. I think the difference heavily is how much you lean into it. Like, if you spend a chunk of your movie just playing scenes from another movie, then are you really, you know, making a new movie, or are you just repurposing old shots? Although, I do kind of like the thought that if you aren't familiar with what's happening, or you do need a quick little catch-up, or why is this relevant? Just a quick scene is good. It's good to kind of catch people up on things. So, if you were to pick a shine power that you started with while you leveled up your others, so to say, and work on, which one would you want to have to be the most fluent in? Telekinesis, telepathy, would you want astral plating? It seems like they can teleport at times even. There seems like increased strength happens to be a part of it. Which power would you pick?
I think I would go with telekinesis, because it's really just that much easier to do my job at that point.
Yeah, I'm a big sucker for teleportation, but I think I would pick telekinesis as well, honestly. I do have to say I like the pros of telepathy, because you can communicate without talking, and you can kind of get into minds, but then you gotta deal with the whole, what if you don't want to know what that person's thinking? Or can you control hearing what people think, you know? That's a big thing that I hear whenever mind readers are talked about, is they have no control over what they hear. It's just, blah.
And why bother using telepathy if you can just give someone a dirty look?
Right? Make the Dark Tower better. I would definitely have to say I'd probably go with telekinesis too, because it would make a lot of things easier in a lot of ways, and I would like flinging things with my mind. That'd be a lot of fun.
That, and if you come across someone on the sidewalk that just won't move, instead of having to shoulder him out of the way, gosh.
Alright guys, before we take up too much of your time, I guess we'll let it go here. I've had so much fun with this series, and I hope you guys did too. Not just this episode, but every one has had its own unique flavor to it. Every guest that I've been able to have has brought something else, and I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you, the ones that are watching as well, because, you know, you make this. It wouldn't have been good if it was just me.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah. So thanks for showing up. We'll see you next time, and remember to let your shine show.